But just as the bride opens her mouth to speak, the doors to the hall burst open, and another figure walks in, someone even more unexpected than the rest. The suspense is thick. What now? What other secrets are hidden, waiting to destroy everything? The new figure in the doorway is the bride's long-lost mother, thought to be gone forever. The room goes quiet once more as the mother's tear-filled eyes meet her daughter's. The shock is too much to process, but in that moment, everything falls into place. The truth they had all been hiding comes rushing to the surface. "I couldn't tell you," the mother whispers, stepping forward, her voice shaking. "I never wanted to hurt you, but I knew the man you were about to marry. He wasn't the right choice." With a deep breath, the bride turns toward the ex and the homeless woman. All of their struggles, their pain, their secrets, it all made sense now. She had been part of a story that was bigger than herself, a story of betrayal, redemption, and love lost and found. As the mother and daughter embrace, the truth finally settles in. Sometimes the hardest battles are fought for the ones we love, and in the end, it's the truth that always sets us free. The room grows even quieter, the tension so thick it feels suffocating. All eyes are on her now, waiting for the truth to come out. But what is the truth? What mistake could she be talking about? The room is hanging on every word now. The homeless woman's declaration lingers in the air, a heavy, unsolved mystery. But before anyone can react, there's a sudden shift in the atmosphere, an unexpected interruption. A man steps forward from the back of the room, his face familiar but somehow out of place. The groom's best friend, someone no one noticed until now, clears his throat and speaks up. "Actually, she's right," he says, his voice cutting through the tension like a knife. The room falls silent again, all eyes turning toward him. The best friend looks straight at the bride, his expression a mix of guilt and desperation. "There's something you don't know about him." He points toward the ex, whose face remains unreadable. The guests exchange confused glances, their curiosity now piquing. The bride's face hardens, her heart racing. What could he possibly be about to say? The best friend takes a deep breath, clearly reluctant but unable to keep quiet any longer. The reason he's here today is because he's not just her ex. He continues, glancing nervously at the ex. "He's your real father." The words land like a bombshell. A stunned silence fills the room, the bride's breath catching in her throat. The realization hits her like a tidal wave, shaking her to her core. Her mouth opens, but no sound comes out. The woman standing beside the ex, the homeless woman, looks directly at the bride, her gaze unflinching. "I told you," she whispers softly. "I'm the only one who can stop it." The room is in chaos. The bride stumbles back, her hand gripping the nearest chair for support. Her mind is reeling. Her father. How could that be possible? Everything she knew about her family, her life, suddenly feels like a lie. She looks at the ex, his face unreadable, and then at the woman standing beside him, who looks at her with a mixture of pity and sorrow. "You've been living in a lie all these years," the best friend says quietly, his voice almost apologetic. "Your father, he didn't just disappear. He was taken from you. But he's been looking for you ever since." And she gestures to the homeless woman. She's been helping him. The bride's knees almost give way, and for a moment, she feels like she might collapse. But the homeless woman steps forward, gently taking her hand, her eyes filled with a warmth that contrasts sharply with the cold tension in the room. "You've been part of a bigger story than you know. And it's time you knew the truth." The words hang in the air, heavy with meaning. The groom stands, completely frozen, unable to process what's unfolding. The guests murmur, but none of it seems real. The bride blinks, fighting back tears as she searches for something. Anything, solid in this whirlwind of confusion. "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" she asks, her voice trembling with a mixture of anger and disbelief. The homeless woman sighs. "It wasn't time. You weren't ready. But now you're about to marry the man who took everything from you." She steps back, nodding toward the ex. "He's the one who raised you. He's the one who's always been there." The groom's face pales. "What are you saying? What does this have to do with me?" He stammers, clearly on the edge of panic. The ex finally speaks, his voice low but resolute. "Everything. Your betrayal. Your lies. Your secrets. It all ends today." The bride turns, her eyes widening as a new realization hits her. She looks between the ex and the homeless woman, her mind piecing together the fragments of a story she never knew. Then, just as everything starts to make sense, the final twist lands with shocking force. The groom, who had been standing in disbelief, suddenly drops to his knees, his face crumpling in shock. "No," he whispers, his voice barely audible. "No, this isn't possible." The woman beside the ex steps forward one last time. It's time for the truth to come out. Her gaze shifts to the groom. "You've been living with this lie for years, but I'm afraid the truth isn't something you can escape." The bride stares at him, eyes wide, and then everything changes. The ex, the homeless woman, and the best friend exchange one final look, as if this moment, this revelation, was always part of a much bigger plan.